There's a threat in the world today. A threat to our way of living, a threat to our society, and maybe even a threat to our very existence. And what is this threat?
So moving on, let's discuss. We've had some nice fan interaction on the page this week or in the group, and let's discuss some of the videos and things and as Julian would say, whatnot that's been
This
posted.
is our whatnot
Yeah.
section of the show. I like that.
So let's discuss some of the videos and whatnot that's been posted on the group page. I want to start off with the go-kart on the bobsled track.
That's impressive. Yeah, that is, and we spoke on this a little earlier. That's some driving in my mind, and that would I would have a hot load in my pants, just thinking I was going to flip that thing on the bobsled track.
Well, that's why you don't go into battle with a loaded weapon.
Hey, you got that right, baby.
But but did you see how he comes out of the high bank turn at the one point? The front end of the cart
comes straight up.
Yeah. Down. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
I wonder how hard his foot was on the throttle.
Oh,
you hear it.
I'm saying he's hammering it. He's hammering it.
I don't know if he's hammering it. But
he's hammering it.
He's hitting it. That was impressive. And if you didn't see the video we're talking about, definitely check that out, because that is one for the books there. That was pretty interesting.
What out of all the stuff that was posted on the group page, what would you say would be your highlight that you really were impressed by?
For this week, I really like the I guess there's two videos I guess that came to mind.
Okay, let's hear it.
And that would be I think it was Dan that the ass that posted the super trucks, or was that you?
Oh, on the super trucks on the street course?
Yeah.
I didn't post like that.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have one of those Traxxas cars, and it looked like somebody was doing a remote control with the full size Traxxas car. I want to see that. That looked pretty interesting. And then I never saw the clip of Earnhardt cleaning his windshield, leaving pit lane there.
Wasn't that great?
Wow. So I saw that and I immediately had to post that. I was like, oh my goodness. That if there's one guy I could see do it, Jeff Gordon's not going to do that. Tony Stewart wouldn't have done that. Dale Earnhardt's the guy that was going to do that.
That video reminds me of a story too. I was watching a race one time, and I'm trying to remember if it was at Daytona or if it was out at the Brickyard. Sterling Marlin had taken some damage to like his left front fender. Well, they had stopped the race, red flagged the race, and had everybody line up, on the backstretch or whatnot. Now I'm saying it. And so everybody stopped. Sterling Marlin gets out of his car and comes out, and he goes over there and starts pulling out on the fender where it had been mashed in a little bit. And the official comes there and goes, "Hey, you can't do that." He goes, "Well, I seen Earnhardt do it down at Daytona." So if Earnhardt did it, you can do it. Of him cleaning off the windshield, that's exactly what that reminded me of. That's
good. But yeah, I mean, coming out of pit lane, he had to be going at least 78 at least, and he hops on his door, the window there, and just, I don't know if he was tearing part of the shield off there.
I don't know if they had tear offs back then.
Okay, so maybe he was just wiping a dead bug off that was bothering.
He might have had a rag down in the car or something.
Right. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. What about yourself? Did you have any highlights there?
I had posted this video before a while back on my personal Facebook page, and I had, now that we started Checkers and Wreckers, I had to share this video again, as the one with Max Verstappen in the Red Bull Formula One car on the snowy mountain.
Oh,
just hammering it down.
I didn't think he was gonna get out at first. At first, he's sitting there just turn it, and then boom.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
He got it then. And I mean, obviously, he's got chains around the tires.
Oh yeah, but still,
for such a light car to hit that and then climb a mountain. He's not just on straight ice. because there was another video on there with the dirt bike on ice.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty. Then the guy's getting off of it. Did you see the end? He's racing. He's nailing it, going 100 on the ice. Doesn't miss a beat. Goes to step off of it and slips on the ice and falls.
Yes, I did
Perfect.
see that. And then the one with I don't know if it was like a truck or a SUV. It was an off-road vehicle for sure, where he's hammering it down and hits that jump, and then when he clears the other side, it's boom, 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 flips like 75,000 times.
Yeah, and then it's got the indoor camera.
the
and
in-car
it shows
cam.
him smacking his helmet.
Yeah.
I think it breaks at the end there.
You see, as soon as he's seen it was getting to flip, he pulls his arms back.
Yeah, he puts them up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah. So guys, I mean, we're talking about some of the interesting information and just some of the fun videos that we've posted on the page here this week. So check some of that out if you haven't. We appreciate all the interaction as well. One of my buddies, Greg Pierce, posted the Wedge, the car that was powered by a jet engine. This comes around you.
See, I got schooled on that this morning because I wasn't sure what it was.
That was the only reason I know that is the vintage, because that was a little before my time. But the Indy vintage race, they came around, they brought that around, and you would think, a jet engine, it would be pretty loud. That was the most quiet car I think I've ever seen. It's really interesting too. That and that orange. It's like that color is just wow. That sticks out. But yeah, it looks like a little doorstop. The old Wedge there. So hey, I guess talking IndyCar here. We're in session 2. We've bwsports1.com. We discussed that. Let's hop into some IndyCar here. We're a week away.
We have a lot to talk about in IndyCar.
We do, and we are 1 week away from the opener here.
St. Pete. I'm ready. I am ready.
If anybody would like to send Howdy and I out to St. Pete, we'd be more than welcome.
I have vacation time.
We'll do an in and out real quick too.
Oh yeah.
So we'd love to cover the race.
And before we dig real deep into the IndyCar, I have to apologize for my misinformation I gave last week. Fernando Alonso is not running the full season of IndyCar, and it's not even for certain that he's running the Indy 500.
It's not even certain he's running the 500?
No, it hasn't been locked yet, and
now I know he's announced that he is running that, but so nothing is actually, because I know McLaren has come out and said that they're going to be there and everything like that. So I
seen where they said that he's going to run like number 66.
Yep.
But they were saying one of the main reasons why he didn't decide to run the full season of IndyCar is he had a previous commitment to run sports cars like the second half of the season.
Gotcha. So yeah, and I guess with that going forward, he's a solid driver, so I would like to see him
I really
full season in IndyCar. I think it'd be interesting, and he really got along with he had a good rapport with all the drivers when he was here with the 500. They all seemed to get along very well.
I think he brought a new kind of excitement out to the track that year too. I mean, because you've seen a lot of people that probably had never heard of Fernando Alonso until they started talking about he was coming to Indy to race that race. And when I was out there for the race, I seen a lot of people wearing Fernando Alonso gear.
Yep.
So that he brought that kind of attraction. So I'm hoping that maybe next year we can see a full season out of Fernando.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting, and I mean he's got nothing to prove. Obviously, he is one of the best racers of all time.
And speaking of Fernando and speaking of Formula One, this is one of our topics that we were going to discuss on today. But while we're on Fernando Alonso and Formula One, I just wanted to bring up, how do you feel about the halos on the car? Have you seen those?
Yeah, as far as the F1, so yeah, that's actually interesting too, because I guess I don't know enough science as far as like aerodynamics, things like that, to say it's really good or bad. Safety wise, though, I mean, after seeing what happened to Wilson, something needed to be done. But that's what's interesting that you brought that up, because IndyCar said no, we're not going to go with the halo. They put a piece of it's not steel, but
It's
there's
titanium,
Thank you. They put a piece of titanium that's 3 inches. Is that what it is? It's
something
something.
like that.
So a small piece that's right in front of the driver's line, which I don't know if that is exactly the safest thing in the world to put something in front of the driver's eyes, but it's better than something hitting them in the head and the opposite
Hey,
avenue.
Dan Borden's on here.
So
That's actually Dan Borden's the one that sent me that video of the truck flipping.
oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes, thank you. That was very good stuff. Um, but going back to F1 and the halos, I I understand the safety aspect, and you definitely have to protect the drivers. But to me, as a driver, it seems like that halo would be an obstruction in your line of sight because it comes around the cockpit, and then there's the bar that comes straight down to the front of the car, like right in front of the steering wheel. To me, when you're driving, it seems like that would be right in your line. I guess they get used to it, but I don't know.
It's just one more thing that you got to add when you're going 200 some miles
200
an
plus
hour
mile
to
an hour.
to the equation. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And okay, so enough of that. The the lights on the Indy cars are coming back. The marker lights on the side, the position lights, and
I'm good with that. I like it.
I do too. I was kind of disappointed when they went away. Was mid last season, I think, is when they went away because they were having issues with them and they were malfunctioning. So the president of IndyCar goes to the company, I believe their name's Motec, which that's who makes the lights for the WeatherTech series for like 24 hours of Daytona and Le Mans, stuff like that, because they've ran marker lights for years and been fine. So the president of IndyCar went to them and said, "Hey, can you design some stuff for IndyCar?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So now the lights are coming back. It will signify what position they're in,
Right.
whether or not they're on push to pass, um, the time in the pits. It'll count down that. If the car is off on the side of the track and not running, it'll indicate there. I think it said there's like a slow moving snake or something that shows that the car's dead and not in gear off the side of the track. So yeah, I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah, and sitting in the stands, especially like if you're watching on TV, it's one thing because you got the ticker that's going across the top. You're pretty clear of what's going on. But when you're in the stands and you got lap traffic, it's good to see the if you don't know if they're going 200 some miles an hour.
Yeah, especially when you're a fan at the 500,
Right.
you're sitting there and after a pit stop and
And a few beers.
changes, yeah, and a few beers definitely. When the cars start coming by and you're trying to figure out who's in what position and everything, and then you'll see a pack of cars go by, and then here comes Milka Duno in 33rd position, holding it down strong.
Ray Hall's right on her butt. You think she's in third?
Right.
Exactly.
So with the marker lights, that will definitely.
I like it.
I do too.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if they're malfunctioning, I don't think it affects the drivers. If they're malfunctioning, let them malfunction. Keep them there. It doesn't look that bad.
Well, I mean, I disagree with keeping them in there if they're malfunctioning. If they're not working properly, then no, you shouldn't waste your time with it. But I think with this company, and like I said, they've had several years in sports cars and no problems. So I think there will be no problems in the IndyCar side of it either. I think their reputation speaks for themselves.
So yeah, I would. I mean, the quality is a big part of it. So we had slated to talk about the new Indy 500 qualifications. I just wanted to get out there that that is new. We are kind of running a little short, so we'll talk about that another time. But wanted to get that out there that the Indy 500 does have some new changes to the qualifications, which is interesting. And like I said, we can talk about that a little more.
We'll talk about that more when it gets closer to time. But moving on, let's St. Pete. We are exactly a week away from St. Pete.
I'm excited. Next week's show is gonna be it's gonna be like a kid on Christmas. Daytona 500 is nothing compared to the beginning of.
I definitely get stoked for IndyCar season.
So
I mean, I am kind of biased to IndyCar. That's what I do like.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's highlight a team real quick. I mean, this team here that we're going to talk today really doesn't need much talking about.
No, they speak for themselves.
Everybody,
Definitely.
they do the driving on the track. They got it taken care of on the back end there. Team Penske, their 3 drivers, main time, Will Power, Joseph Newgarden, Simon Pagenaud. And then I believe they are going to bring in Elio for the 500.
I think Elio might be running the Grand Prix and the 500.
Oh, he's going to do the Grand Prix too?
I
Okay.
think. I'm not 100% sure
Right.
on that, so don't
No,
take
I'm
it
with
to
you there.
heart.
Absolutely.
But I was reading some articles, and they didn't come right out and say that Elio was running the Grand Prix, but they were hinting towards it because Team Penske was down at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, because IndyCar's running there, and I'm super excited about that.
You want to send us there? We do that too.
Yes, I would love to go to COTA and see the IndyCar race. But Elio was down there with Team Penske as a 4th driver testing. So, hey, that's pretty smart on Penske to bring him in for a 4th driver, and you could put him on different stints to see how the cars are doing. But
Indy loves Elio. And I think that's they love Elio here.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
he's got a big
he has a very big
following here. Yeah. And then
actually, 1 year out at the track, speaking of Daniel Borden, we were out there and I had bought a Elio mini helmet, which looks identical to his real helmet, whatever.
Right.
So, we had a few beers, but go into the pits because we had pit passes and everything like that, and sat there and waited for Elio to come out of his garage, and finally he did. And he was just going to kind of walk by everybody, and Daniel grabbed that helmet. He's like, "No, dude," and had a marker. He's like, "Sign my buddy's helmet." So Elio just signed it real quick, handed it back. So we did get the autograph.
Nice, absolutely. That's always a fun time to be back there in the pits. I got to do that a couple years for the first time. That's a blast to see all the drivers and stuff.
Getting back to Team Penske, I was reading where Newgarden is really focused and he's concentrating on. He says he wants another championship this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with the IndyCar. That's kind of the philosophy, I guess, has kind of changed a little bit. With you used to hear the IndyCar drivers, their goal was an Indy 500.
Oh yeah,
and now you hear Newgarden has not won the 500 and he's still saying he wants to win a championship. So I don't know if that's the Penske mentality or if that's just kind of the new mentality. Kind of, I'm not downplaying the 500 at all, but I think the title means a little more to these guys now than it did in the past.
I think you'll see Simon Pagenaud string together some good runs this year. I mean, Penske has some heavy hitter drivers. I mean, Pagenaud, Newgarden, Will Power, of course. Angel likes him just because his name's Will Power.
What a great name! I gotta give
you
it.
Sound
what
just
a
like
great
Angel Loy right now. What a great name!
I don't like him as a driver or anything, but yeah, what a great name. He can drive. Yeah, that's the thing about Penske. All 3 of these drivers, they have a title.
Yeah, I mean,
only one with a 500 though.
Right.
And the best I will give him. I didn't want to see him win it really. The best celebration for a 500 win there was.
Will Power.
Yeah, absolutely. So keeping with IndyCar, we've had some interaction on that too. There's a lady on the page, Kimberly. She thinks Sebastian's going to take it. She's out there. She's out there. She's in the trenches. She works there. So she's seeing the back end. She's seeing him run right now. So he's definitely going to be able to put together a good run. I'm interested to see this week's.
Yes, that's what Tommy Boy does. He throws shade.
Throwing it.
He's a habitual shade thrower. But Sebastian Bourdais, that's a solid choice, and he seems to like St. Pete.
Exactly.
The course seems to like him. I'm looking for Graham Rahal to really step up and have a good showing at St. Pete. He seems to run good on those street course type circuits, and I can see him having a very strong showing at St. Pete.
Yeah, I'm just excited to get some qualification in.
Yeah.
Practice time. Let's see these guys run out there. Let's get it going. I saw a picture the other day. They were starting to put together like the crosswalks above the track and stuff. So get you all excited there.
So you know what this means? Moving on, it is time for the checkers and records pick of the week. All right, so let's get into that. We got about 5 minutes left to discuss our checkers
and records picks here.
Start it off, Tommy boy. Let's hear what you got.
So we're gonna start with checkers. You want to do records first?
No, we're gonna start. Let's start with you know what? You pick. What do you want to start with?
We'll do checkers. We'll
Okay,
keep with the name.
okay.
Checkers, records. So we'll do my picks for checkers today. I guess it's kind of, I don't know if you're gonna allow me to do this one, but I'm gonna pick the guy off the pole. Kevin Harvick is one of my checkers there. He's been putting together some solid runs here the first couple weeks, and I think he's gonna put together what it takes today for the win. If not him, then I'm gonna look at the guy who's gonna throw it into the wall or win it, Kyle Larson. But I guess, like I said earlier in the deal, it's kind of hard not to say Kyle Busch.
You got.
But I'm not gonna put him there.
You got a couple strong picks there. My picks, I got to go with. I'm picking Kyle Busch for the trifecta.
It's hard not to, yeah.
I'm picking him for the trifecta. I think he's with as much track time as he's had this weekend, and of course he's in a Joe Gibbs car. I see Kyle Busch winning it.
Yeah, that track time's a hard thing the other driver's going to have to overcome this weekend.
And if he doesn't win it, I'm picking Ryan Blaney.
I
have a gut feeling Blaney's gonna be a contender this weekend.
When you sent me the picks and you sent me that text and said the picks are in, I didn't pull them up till I picked mine. But when I saw Blaney on there, wow, kind of shocked me there. But hey, right on. Let's see how that turns out. I mean, last week you beat me, so hopefully I can nail it to 1-1 on the checkers at least. Yeah.
Don't call it a comeback.
No three-peats here.
So, what's your records looking like?
My records, I think Logano. I don't think he's going to pull together a great run today. And then as far as the fast car out of practice there, Austin Dillon.
I can see Austin Dillon.
Yeah, and I mean he's not a bad driver, but at the end of the day, I just don't think he's going to keep the momentum. I don't think he's going to ride it out. I don't think he's got what it takes to do the long haul for the race. I
got a couple. I know one's going to be a fan favorite, but I don't see him running good this weekend. Martin Truex Jr. I see he struggled through practice. He's struggled out at Vegas this weekend.
Yeah, and he's starting a little farther back. I could see him. It's going to be hard to climb that pack.
And I'm going with Kurt Busch there again, as we spoke earlier. Average finish of 22nd at Las Vegas. That's just his hometown track is not one of his favorites.
Right. Yeah, it's looking more favorable to the brother Busch this weekend. So, and then let's pick our dark horse here. For me, I told you I was going to come back to the name. It's been a while since we mentioned him. Bubba Wallace. I don't think he's going to win, but I do think he gets a top 10 today.
You think he's going to have a good showing?
I think he gets a top 10. He may even break into the top 5. I think this is a solid driver. He's got a decent car. He's on a decent team. So put it out there. Let's see what we can do.
And see myself, I disagree with everything you just said. Everything. I don't see Bubba Wallace's. He just hasn't impressed me since he's been in the Cup side. I don't think that team's very strong. I see that whole organization to struggle. So I don't know what it's going to take to get them.
Maybe it's Bubba
to turn around. I don't see it being Bubba Wallace. But my dark horse pick, I'm going with Daniel Hemrick.
Yep.
He's shown speed throughout the weekend, and like we spoke earlier, he's not technically a rookie. He's looked impressive so far this year. He needs that little extra little bit of he needs a lucky penny taped to the dash of the car, and I think he puts it in the victory lane.
Yeah, that Childress team, they're definitely trying to put together some wins, some runs, and maybe he's what they need to do it there.
Yeah. So that, folks, was our checkers and records pick of the week. So with that being said, you know, we're getting ready to bring show number 2, wrap it up and put it in the books. Once again, Tommy Boy and I would like to thank all of you guys for tuning in and supporting us. Be sure to the Checkers and Wreckers group page. Hey, if you see a video to do with racing that you think's interesting, feel free to share it with us. If you see some, you know, cool pictures of, you know, new race cars, old race cars, whatever, race cars, post them, share.
Anything.
Let's you know, let's discuss it. That's what this is all about. We want to discuss things with you guys, and that's what we like to do. You know, so like I like to say, bench racing.
Yep. Couch racing.
Yeah. So that's a wrap for show number 2. Tommy Boy, it's been fun.
Absolutely, Howdy. Appreciate
I hope
it.
you guys enjoy it as much as we do.
And as always, check out bwsports1.com for all your
bwsports1.com.
You really like that button.
I do
don't
like the
you?
button. Speaking of the button, hit it.
Well, thank you for listening. Go fast, shift hard, and keep that rubber on the road.
Until next week. Peace.
Peace.